Yesterday, let's dive into an incredibly exciting story, starting with the legendary figure of Uncle Da, the mob boss. Last night, Uncle Da got word that the rival's second-in-command was loitering on his turf. It's the saying that goes, when you've had enough, take action. Uncle Da was ready to teach him a lesson in style. Unfortunately, he went a bit overboard, and the guy ended up meeting the Grim Reaper. Uncle Da's personal lawyer, Addy, calmly asked if there were any witnesses around. Uncle Da's answer was a shocker. Bus with over 50 kids passed by. Those kids not only captured the whole incident, but also uploaded it online. Luckily, the video quality was so low, Addy watched it and thought, yikes, I might need a candle for myself. Uncle Da was his top client. After years of working together, Addy made a fortune, but alas, he had no time for his wife and kids. Their marriage was on thin ice, and his wife suggested he try a mindfulness course. A certain teacher, known as the Sage, was super popular, but Addy's mind was stuck on work. He was stuck doing the dirtiest jobs in the firm and often faced snarky comments from the receptionist. He just showed up after 3 months, what a dummy. Addy had heard that line far too often. Maybe he should consider taking his wife's advice. He thought maybe it was time for a change. Thank goodness, this mindfulness teacher was like a friendly old grandpa. He promised Addy 3 months of practice would transform him. Addy decided, why not give it a shot? 3 months later, Addy graduated with flying colors, and today was the day he promised his daughter a trip. Having moved out, whether he could win back his wife's heart depended on his performance with his daughter, and boy, things were bound to get crazy. Just 3 kilometers into the drive, Uncle Da called in a panic, saying, things are grim. If you don't sort this out, I won't be nice. Addy gave Uncle Da 3 choices: plead guilty, have the other party back off, or take flight. Clearly, the first 2 were a joke. It was time to run. But outside, they were surrounded by the cops. Uncle Da was furious and suddenly thought, why not just hop in your car? Let's go to your car. I can lie down and you can drive, right? Please, I don't have a car. I can't let you travel to Europe. What, Europe? You just want to leave town. No need for superhero theatrics. Uncle Da gave Addy 2 choices. Get him out, or they both go down. Addy had no choice but to stuff Uncle Da in the trunk, but as luck would have it, he ran smack into Officer Muller before he could even leave the parking lot. Officer Muller asked to check the vehicle, and Addy waggled his finger. According to the law, vehicle inspections can only happen on public roads. You're in a private. If Muller doesn't have a valid reason, I could totally file a complaint. Muller shot back, okay, have you seen Dragon Segovia? Nope, haven't seen him, Addy said, knowing Muller was aware of his reputation. Not wanting trouble, Muller opted to let him go. They hit the road again, and little Emily pulled out a fuzzy toy. This toy could not only record sound, but also play it back on loop. Remember this little chick? About an hour later, they arrived at the lakeside villa, and as Emily hopped out of the car, a thumping sound came from the trunk. The curious little girl asked her dad, "What's in the trunk?" Addy paused and replied, "Just some of Daddy's work." Emily nodded, half understanding. Addy watched his daughter hop away happily, stuck in a quandary. If he let Uncle Da out, 2 outcomes awaited. He and his daughter could get kidnapped, or the police could show up and charge him with conspiracy. Either way was a dead end. Just keep practicing peace of mind and avoid doing anything you'd rather not, echoed in his head. For the rest of the day, Addy turned off his phone and focused on spending quality time with his daughter. Outside, the temperature soared, and Uncle Da was stuck in the trunk enjoying a sizzling sauna at over 50 degrees. Talk about a bad day. By the time Addy finally got his daughter to sleep, Uncle Da had gone through his own rebirth. Addy skipped checking the trunk. He wasn't about to do anything he didn't want to today. As morning sunlight peeked into the bedroom, a crow landed on the windowsill, seemingly foreshadowing impending doom. On their way back, Emily sniffed an odd smell and asked her dad, "What's that smell?" Addy pondered and replied, "Oh, that's just my work in the trunk going stale." That cracked Emily up, and Addy checked his phone again. His phone exploded with messages: his law firm, wife, police, and even Uncle Da's goons. Addy kept his eyes on the road, ignoring all the notifications. It wasn't until he safely dropped Emily home that he noticed Uncle Da's henchman, Tony, was waiting for him. Addy casually said that Uncle Da was all settled, but Tony's dog was barking like crazy. Clearly, something was off, and Tony's nose was definitely twitching. He leaned in closer, and the smell got stronger. As Tony walked around to the back, Addy felt his heart leap into his throat. Once that trunk is opened, Tony would instantly blow his brains out with the gunshot. Old barbecue? How could I forget to toss that out? It's too hot for this. Want some meat? Addy dodged the question, trying hard not to sound too professional. He sighed with relief, but trouble was just gearing up. Uncle was thoroughly well done, and all Addy could think of was the lakeside villa. Thankfully, no cops were around, but the bad news was Uncle was as hefty as a full-grown boar, but fortunately there were some beams in the shed. Uncle was pulled from the car and hung in midair, while Addy laid out a waterproof sheet and donned insulated gear. As he activated the electric tools, the chains rattled loudly, and Uncle on the ground was as stiff as a log. But after a long pause, he just couldn't do it. The voice of the sage echoed in his mind, reminding him the adventure was about to begin.